All right, we're going to do a VOD review of a 2750 tank player on Havana playing Reinhardt. Let's just see what we can say about this. Now, generally when I'm saying Reinhardt on Havana, of course, I'm kind of expecting the close hold. However, in role queue, you don't really see the close hold in Platinum. They're just not comfortable with it, or they don't know about it. They don't scrim or whatever. It's totally fine. So you're playing back here. We go for a fire strike on the front. I want to just talk about this real quick. Okay, watch this fire strike. All right, look how wide you go here. All right, and you're kind of like aiming like at the spawn door. That's fine. Just so you know, you didn't have to go this wide. This is a little wider than you. Look at this, right? You are like way away from this cover, right? You can just like do a quick peek, throw the fire strike through the shrubbery. It actually goes through that shrubbery. Or you can go a little, I mean, you go here and then kind of shoot close to the shrubbery. That's fine. You're still going to get hits. All right. That's important. You still get your ultimate charge that you're looking for. And so let's see if you find any. You do not. So unfortunately, you didn't hit anyone. And you went really far wide. The farther wide you go, the more like poke you're going to take on the way back. Now, thankfully, all that poke that would be coming to you is actually just going to hit this Zarya bubble. So that's fine. You do unfortunately take the fire strike though. Okay, now noticing your team comp, you are brawl, you want to stick close, especially here. One thing you're gonna notice is that you've got Symmetra versus their double hit scan. All right, so that while they have a soldier, you have a sim. That means they want to play further away, you want to play closer up. And I would say that if you are really close together, the teams are really right on top of each other. I'd say right now that your brawl is better because you have a team that's more equipped to play in close range. That is to say, you have the Symmetra. You can do tricks with the portal and stuff, but of course, if you're not coordinated with the Symmetra and comms, then it probably doesn't matter. The soldier's probably just going to be better. I would say that even though your brawl is better, that doesn't mean your comp is better. And just thinking about the map, Havana, look at Havana, right? Havana is this map with really long sight lines. And soldier's effective range doesn't start falling off until 30 meters and fully falls off at 50 meters. That's the same as Ashe scoped, and it's the same as Bastion in his turret form. And so that effective range plays really nicely on Havana, where these really long sight lines are kind of key, right? And so on these, you really want to suggest to your team to play long range. Tell them to play Hanzo. Tell your team to play Ashe. Soldier, another good one. Try to dissuade your team from playing Symmetra if you can. Try to dissuade them from playing close range heroes. All right. This is all just to say that, yeah, you're playing Brawl. You want them to come to you. You want them to all gather up. You want them to be around here. You want to have your Brawl take place within your Sim TP or Sim turrets if you can. And you want to get them around this corner. All right. So let's see what happens here. Taking a lot of poke. We pull up our shield. We try to get our health back. Now we're really low. This is really bad. And so one thing you're noticing right off the front, all right, right off the front here, is that it seems like they've been able to just do this thing where they wrap around this way. And you see like where the soldier is. You see where the cast can just easily go if he really wanted to. And it's kind of just because your team playing this really sort of like brawly way has to stay right here. And like none of your team has decided to do any flanking. There's no controlling of other angles. Like the cast never went up here to shoot from the top. There's no stopping the enemy team from like pretty much doing whatever movement works best for them. And there's like nothing stopping this soldier from wrapping around here. No one up there to pressure him or anything. And so soldier can wrap around here and just shoot your entire team from a distance that is favorable to him. Okay. All right. And I think that if I go back here and just watch for a moment, I don't think you ever looked back at your team. Yeah, so you didn't look back at your team. And one thing to note is this is an oddball, right? So you got your Ana sitting back here in this position. And for our Ana players out there, by the way, this is not the position you want to play. And I don't quite recommend it. It's not terrible. In this particular scenario, I'd say it's better than other scenarios, maybe. But the disadvantage of this angle is that Reinhardt here cannot expect to get support if he walks in here for like cover. Like your Rein can't. He has to walk backwards to like this car or backwards to get all the way back to the kiosk. There's no ducking into here because Ana can't heal him. Whereas if Ana was where she should be, I think, is it went like by the kiosk here, then she could actually heal him inside of that building if he ducked inside of that building for a moment. Also, Ana from way back here, harder to hit anti-nades because the enemy Reinhardt can just block them. Whereas over here, you can throw anti-nades from behind Rein's shield. Boom, big anti, team can push in. So odd positioning. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying that this is unconventional. And this is some information that I don't think you knew about. And if you were to look at your team, you would have known about this. You could have sort of adapted to this sort of unconventional strategy, but you didn't. I don't think you looked at your team at all, which is definitely a big no-no. You definitely want to watch your team before the fight and even in the mid-fight. You want to take a quick glance at your team just to look, right? Even if you think you know where they are, don't assume, all right? Take a look, just quick peek. It doesn't have to be like a long peek. It can just be like a quick turn and then right back in. All right, if I'm looking here for a second, we're holding close. We do want to hold close here. We want to get him in here. The thing is, they destroyed all of our sim turrets in like one Zarya right click, boop, I think just killed them all. So that was unfortunate that her turrets were so close together and so easily found. And after that, then they had like basically a ranged advantage here. They did not get anti. The anti got blocked by enemy Rein's shield, like I was saying. And then you held your shield here trying to get that armor up. And now the armor, really important, by the way. You're at 269 nice HP, and the enemy soldier is shooting you. What you want is to block that with your shield. And if you are going to take that to your health, don't you want to have armor, right? Because any amount of health you have over 300, you have armor. And the rule on armor is that it reduces all like damage that you would take. Like any instance of damage is, if it's more than 10 damage, it's reduced by 5. And I think there's a separate rule if the instance of damage is less than 10 or something like that. I think then it's just cut in half or something of that nature. But for damage like Soldier, where he does 9 bullets per second and 20 damage per bullet, that each instance of damage is reduced by 5. Okay, so that reduces it to only 15 damage per bullet. And that means he does straight up 25% less damage to you if you have the armor on top of your health. And so you really don't want to be dropping your shield and going for this fire strike unless you have more than 300 HP because this soldier's shooting you, right? And so the consequences of throwing this fire strike are you take a bunch of soldier hits, and the Zarya, being fully charged, throws a right click at you. I think it's like 95 damage for fully charged right click. That's all it took. Yeah. Unfortunate. All right, let's skip ahead here. Sorry. Where's your team here? Okay. You're all here. Okay, you're fine. You're fine. Not taking TP. That's a little dangerous. I'm glad you didn't. Okay, so they're Reinhardt retreating. Your Krieg gets a kill. Okay, yeah. That soldier gets punished. That's good. Okay, we're gonna just go right back to this corner, basically. Don't have to chase into there. That's fine. Little glance at your team there. That was nice. I'd like to see more of it. Do you know where your Ana is stationed? You have very limited freedom of movement when you're playing with an Ana, right? You don't have a Moira, you don't have a BAP that's like usually sticking close to you. Your Ana's usually way back. And so like moments like this is like, are you looking back to see like where your Ana is? Do you have an idea? And again, I think you're stepping really far outside of that cover to throw this fire strike. You don't have to be up this far. You don't have to go this far. You can actually you can concede all the way back to this corner here. You don't have to be this kind of aggressive up forward. Unless you specifically are talking to your team and you've got like people behind you shooting, you want to put pressure behind your shield. Now in this case, all right, I'll forgive you for it because you do have 3 people shooting behind your shield, so that's value. They can shoot forward and they can't, you know, you got the barrier protecting them. So that's fine, but definitely communicate when you're going to bring your shield down and come back to cover. Okay, which you do, and they're sort of reacting to that, but not entirely. Okay, so again, we're behind this corner. This is fine. You still have not looked back to see where your Ana is playing, so let's check. Ana's was playing right here, closer to the kiosk. That's fine. I'd use nade on herself. Go back a second. Hold on a second. So they're gonna nano their Reinhardt. I want to see this. For like 360 shadow. Okay, it's funny. You're nanoed. You get slept through the nano. You throw the fire strike. You get bubbled. You make sure. Yep, good job. You made sure that there's already had full energy there. Excellent. Very aggressive, taking a lot of damage. You notice you got beat there, and it's almost like you didn't even get beat. Go back a little bit. What's your health here? You get down to 181, and then you go up to 792, and watch how fast this goes down to 0. Yeah, so that's a combination of getting stunned. That's just standing in, like, really, really aggressive positioning. And this is like double support ult supporting you too, by the way. I just want to throw that out there, right? So you get the nano here. Throw the fire strike. You're still preserving your HP here. You get the bubble. Now, understand, you don't have Zarya bubble, okay? And so this is where, like, yeah, your kind of nano's fleeing off a little bit. I would start thinking as soon as you know you don't have the Zarya bubble, then your off tank cannot play this fight with you super well unless you've already got like a kind of like an advantage going for you already. And there's not really much of an advantage that you're pressing on them at the moment. So here I'd be probably holding up my shield and potentially giving up some space because again, you're playing against all this range pressure. You have to do something about the fact that the enemy team has soldier over you, and that means you need to like force closer range fights and enable your team to like maybe get your cast onto the high ground or something, because this is just a losing fight. Like this that soldier not being pressured enough there. You get the beat, which feels like it's a lot, but man, they're just focusing you a lot. And during the whole process of this beat, even though you're goldened on your health, I don't think Frenzy is able. What is he doing here? Is he reloading? Sad time to be reloading. Yeah. Yeah, it is what it is. Okay. I think you are still. Whoops. I think you are still going to be able to win the fight here, which is nice. Would have been nicer if we didn't have to like feed there. Unfortunately, they had really good target focus. I think you could have played it slightly better. I think the beat could have been used a little bit differently. Like if you had backed off, then you could have waited for them to like overextend a bit and then beat in response. So I think the beat kind of forced you to be a little more forward than you really wanted to be. And again, you didn't really have the Zarya bubble to play with at that moment still. It was still like 3 seconds on cooldown or something like that. Just too much damage coming at you. Not really, just not really well coordinated with the team. There, we caught in the grab. We used the bubble here. Good block. They have beat. Yeah, you are going to be losing this fight. 100% you're dead. I really wish your team would be playing that high ground more and just being like, just covering more angles. It just seems like your team is really playing too much down main. Okay. So where's your team right now? This is pain. You took a fire strike. Yeah. Go back. See this Ana? All right. Your team is not together, right? But you see that your Ana is right here. So the goal in this moment is not to push out, all right? You want to stay in the enclosed space. If they want to come to you, they can come to you, but you're not walking forward here. Your goal is to keep your Ana alive, all right? So that charge is way more aggressive than you need to be. The walking forward is super way more aggressive than you need to be. All right, you're just, yeah, you could have saved your Ana in this position if you just take a moment, breathe, look at your team. Where are they? What's the priority? Are you in a push phase? Are you trying to push, or are you trying to stabilize? And in that moment, it was kind of stabilizing. Stabilizing doesn't necessarily need to be stabilizing your HP. You could be full HP and still need to stabilize, because stabilizing isn't about just recuperating your HP. It's also recuperating your space, right? Space is a resource in this game. And in this moment, you are stabilizing your space, getting to a point where your space is stable, and you just didn't have that. This is showing a lack of recognition that you needed to come together around here, around this space, or out here around the stairs. Preferably like right here before your team kind of walks forward and starts exposing themselves to all these angles, right? Okay, so here we are, kind of returning to the fight. Kind of holding up on the high ground. We throw a fire strike down here. You note that their Rein has like just kind of pushed himself all the way forward, and this is for sure overextending on the enemy Rein's part. He or at least I wouldn't, maybe not overextending, but he's definitely going to be pushing himself into a position where you can exploit him, right? And so here, this is way too far forward for him. Your team should be able to capitalize on this mistake. This is a bad mistake for the enemy Reinhardt. He should not get the value. So unfortunately, your Ana does not keep up the symmetry here, and it turns out that their enemy Reinhardt does get value. You missed the charge, unfortunately. The charge would have protected it too. He gets bubble. Now they're starting to get a lot of positional advantage on you. This Lucio's on your shit. The Ana's on the retreat. In this moment, you need to leave. You need to stabilize both your health and your position. Yeah, so this, you need to recognize that, like, if you looked around a bit, understand, like, your surroundings, okay? So there's potential for you to maybe do something here, but if there's anything you're doing in this moment, in my opinion, it's to retreat. Like, this nano, poorly timed. This nano isn't to try to, like, earn space and, like, earn anything in the team fight. This is, like, for some reason, your Ana felt like in this moment, nano was worth trading to keep your life up for some reason. I don't know why. But she gave it to you. I don't think you should stick around in here, because, like, when you think about it, it's just the Ana up here who can be easily pressured, and it's going to be Cassidy, Zarya, Lucio, and Ryan's going to come back to you. All right. So we're really aggressive. We're pushing on to the Zarya here, which is, looks like you're going to get this kill, but your Ana's out, right? Ana at this point is out. Where's the Rein? Oh, he's going up here with the Lucio. Interesting. Okay. Lots of interesting stuff happening here. We finally get a glimpse going on behind, and then you can see at this point the enemy Reinhardt has overextended. Problems with that. Okay. Okay. We've pushed them back. We've pushed them back, and now what we want to do is think about next fight. We want to be pressing tab, think about what ults they have, and this is the moment where, like, I'd be not giving a shit about pushing any forward here. I really hope you don't go past anymore here. And I'd be looking to go, like, up here, right? Get ready up here. Mainly I'm saying that because I'm expecting, right, that there's a couple of possibilities, right? If they're going to come down main this way and they're going to try to, like, push cart together, well, wouldn't you like to be shielding your ranged pressure from top and just, like, making their life hell? Just kind of let them sit in the rain of your ranged pressure. Or you think that they might, this is a better play for the enemy team, they can probably just go up these stairs and walk you this way. And if they're going to do that, last place you want to be is on the low ground. So you want to be prepared for that on the high ground. The other way is that they're going to take this lane. They might come up these stairs, and wouldn't you like to be ready for them on the high ground rather than on the low ground and just instantly lose? So please go high ground here. Please go high ground. You need, like, if you go high ground, more of your team will go high ground, by the way, right? Because teams do kind of look at where the Reinhardt is to think about where they should be. At least I would hope so in Plat. They're going high ground, and you're not there. Look at this, right? And so they're ready to just walk up here, take all the space. Like if they were going to go this way, right, on main, then they wouldn't really have a claim to like all this standing over here in this space, right? And so you could chill. But notice how as soon as they go uncontested on this high ground, then you note that like their whole team, you can feel it. They can walk this entire catwalk all the way over here. They have all this. They can go up here and take control of this. And suddenly you don't have anything. You've got nothing. You've allowed them to regroup and go up a lane and not be ready for them. Now your best bet is to hope that they go around this way up here and that they lollygag and do whatever so your team can just stabilize behind Boiler and maybe get a foothold up on high ground yourself or something, or maybe you can wrap up around this way and take a fight from up here like this, but you can't stay low ground. And the people on top of the high ground here, they're about to get fucked. They're not going to be able to stay there. Now they're using Soldier ult. This is really bad for your team. We can respond with the wall all we want. They still have high ground. Okay, there's a grab. I don't mind that charge. Some great shatters. Both sides. Excellent. Okay, yeah, they've won the fight. They got 3 picks. We get our bubble. We kill the fucking Lucio. Excellent. We die. Excellent. We move on to the next fight. So that was definitely probably just going to be lost. And I could tell from the beginning of the fight, just positionally. I think that you should always try to be holding that high ground up there as any team against any team. It doesn't even matter. Like pretty much all comps want to control that. This is pretty ambitious. You know this is not going to work. You cannot get support here from your team unless they're together. You just saw in the kill feed that your Ana died. So there is not a chance in hell you live through this. Not a chance. I'm going to go back. Is there a reason you decided to take the bottom right instead of the top? Hold on. Let me go back a bit. Why wouldn't you go upper left? I'm just curious. Okay. I'm going to spawn here. Is it the TP? See, your team is grouped up. You see a Lucy over here. For some reason, okay, so your Sim's over there. But why wouldn't you go up here, right? Because this is a threat. This is like, if I'm against any team, aren't they going to be up here? Like, aren't they going to be up here? And isn't this going to be really bad for us? Like, what? I don't know what your line of thinking is coming through here. Your team has to follow you through here. And so watch what you do, right? So we just look at this door and we start walking through this door here. All right. Let's look back. Like, did you look back at your team? Did your Ana follow you? Do you expect to walk through this door without looking at your team and for your Ana to be right behind you? All right. Or do you expect your Ana to be able to frontline this Reinhardt, kill him, and then support you from up here? I don't know what you expect, right? And so this is a really weird play. This is just I don't know what to do. I'm doing random things, not talking to my team or doing it like of course your Ana dies. Of course Zarya just destroys your entire core because you didn't have a front line on the part of the map that mattered. So I'd say that was probably like a really weird play coming from you there. Okay, charging out here, just careful. Remember, you got to play kind of with your Zarya too here, right? And so this part of the map, if you go too deep here and your Zarya uses the bubble and then you don't have the bubble, and then you suddenly have to like retreat and you just charge. So like if you start walking this way, you don't even have your charge, you don't have the Zarya bubble. Do you have Ana healing? Okay, you would have Ana healing, but you know, resources are tight. Good block. Good recognizing that you don't want to go too far here, not too far. there's a couple of covers you can think about using. You can cover here, but just be careful. There's other people that can shoot. You might have to crouch if you're going to go this direction. You could try to take cover here. This is dangerous because follow-up cover is either jumping off the bridge here and you're totally isolated, or you have to go this way, which takes kind of a lot of damage, and try to get around here. That's a long rotation, going all the way around that choke. Like, this is a pretty thick choke. This isn't just like a duck around and just go immediately. This is like you have to walk around this choke, right? Long one. This one here, if you're on this side, at least you have the option of ducking into this like ceiling cover, right? So I prefer hugging this sort of right side and letting somebody else handle people on the left lane. Try not to get caught out on the left side here unless you're like already over here and you have someone in position on that high ground to support you, something of that nature. Do not go too deep here, right? This bridge is a death trap for Reinhardt. If you get too far up the bridge, you can no longer go back. It's like a point of no return. So just be careful like how far you're going here. All right, we're half health. We're now holding up a shield. We're not looking to do anything stupid while we have less than 300 HP. Remember that armor thing I was talking about. Okay, we got our health back. What are you blocking though, right? And so this is one thing I want to ask you, right? You're holding up your shield here, and I want to note that, by the way, that your shield right now is about like 100. It's like about to break. And so you've got a Zarya with you, and you're just basically throwing your resource away, right? This shield is your resource to move around. It's kind of like you don't have a whole lot besides, you have charge, I guess, but like movement wise, the way you get around parts of the map is by holding up your shield and walking there. But if you don't have your shield, then trying to do that just gets you killed. And at this point, right, you've already extended yourself really far forward on this bridge. You've held your shield up for nobody except for the Zarya, I suppose, but you don't have any DPS behind you. It's not a Cassidy or Sim behind you. And so you just walked up to this choke, threw your resource into the garbage can, and now you're probably looking to go back this way and retreat because they've got more range pressure. Again, they've got double hit scan. You're stuck on the Symmetra. You want to get these close range fights, but you're putting yourself in sort of like this range pressure fight, getting too close up here. You got to either position your team up here or recognize the fact that up here is kind of where your team is going to play. Like, it looks like your Cassidy wants to play, like, he's going for these stairs. He wants to play this high ground. Symmetra wants to play this choke, right? She's gonna put like turrets over here. She wants to play up here for some reason. She's got the teleporter that can get her team up to the high ground. So some of your team just has this whole grand plan of having a fight up here and not really playing over there. Not optimal for Havana, but I mean, that is what it is. I have fears that you're just going to die here. Yeah, so you got close. You need to get healing right now. Yeah, not good enough. All right. And so that was your consequences. Now, yes, you might be thinking, what are you talking about? What do you mean? Like, do you think, like, am I expected just to hold right over here or like inside this room and just wait for the whole fight to come to me and just like give them all this space? Yeah. Yeah, until something changes about the landscape of the fight. It is what it is. That is it, right? Or you could have not allowed your entire shield to be destroyed, use this cover and allow your shield to be full, and then right, you could have done a couple of swings, hold up your shield a little bit. You could have played around here when you actually had resources, but you just didn't have resources. The resource management just felt really off. So not a lot of good usage of the combination of bubble and your shield and having your charge on the ready and like looking back to see your Ana getting the heals from your Ana and all that. All right, so I wasn't paying attention here. Hold on a second. Let's go back. As you're coming out the spawn door, you should know what your team is positioned and kind of what you need to do here. So you see your Ana, she just ducks right back in here to get health. So you know your Ana is going to be playing in this like right doorway. And you see your Cassie up there, your Zarya down there. All right. I could see this. I could see you playing the choke right now. Your Sim's in the bottom right there. Okay. Now, you got to be careful because you know your Ana is playing this right doorway. But can she see you? She can see you right now, but not for long. You better hope that she comes down this way. And she will if you tell her where you're going. Sick. Really good grab, actually. That's huge. Close. Oh, get some support. Oh, no, no, no. You need to... Hold on. Go back. No. Why'd you drop shield? In this scenario, you do need your Ana to heal you up. So I don't know that you can really swing back. I mean, you can shield hop, but the attempt to swing back and not hold up your not... You have 1,000 shield here. Is not the play. Go back one more. I know he's swinging on you here. You have charge, by the way. And so in this scenario, you could have like charged backwards. You could like turn around and like charged back here or something to get yourself to safety. Here, you take a shot from the enemy Ana, I think. Yeah. Enemy Ana got you. And the enemy Ana, if you were shield hopping and keeping that shield up for a good portion of the time, probably would have not hit that shot against you, and you weren't really in the range of the Reinhardt hitting you, I think, because you had speed. Is that what it was? Go back a second. Hold on. No, I guess you didn't. Hold on a second. Well, I'm not sure why the enemy Reinhardt wasn't able to get you with that last swing. I mean, same case, though. I mean, when you have the shield, you should be shield hopping backwards. Sometimes you can't really afford to swing back. That swing puts a delay on like when you can actually shield up again. And so just be careful about swinging back in a situation where you have like 40 HP. Okay, your whole team's here. I don't mind this. I don't mind this. We had to just give up a bunch of space because your team decided to walk backwards and they took the high ground up there. They have Bastion. That's really bad for you. Bastion's going to make this even worse for you than it was when the Soldier, right? Because now the Bastion kind of makes sure that you are like definitely going to lose the Rein 1v1, because if your Reins, if both Reins just like are fighting in the middle of like open space or whatever point they're fighting in, the Bastion's going to put out more damage. And so yeah, it's going to be tougher to win these Rein duels. And I think that you're going to have to choose the spaces that you like decide to have the fight more appropriately giving that. And I think that means you want to play deeper into the choke. The more you decide to play out here, the more advantage you're going to give to that Bastion. And so I'd be looking to probably tuck your team around this corner, maybe inside here. It's going to be harder for Bastion to do anything in here. And you can come out like with resources. And that means like with the bubble, get your swings and get your damage in. Like be up here on the high ground. Pressure the Bastion up here with your DPS. But it basically means that you can see how this fight is not winnable on this side of the choke. There's just no way. They are just playing better heroes for the map to take advantage of the spam lane that's created here, this range, this angle. Like, it's really hard for you to play this. And your team playing in the middle here and not using it, it's so hard to watch, right? And so you probably want to be tucked in here. It gives opportunities for you to wrap around here and do some like sort of like flank maneuver on them if you really wanted to, especially if you're in comms and calling it out. Yeah. The wall is good, protects you from that Bastion, but potentially dangerous. Another random shatter from the enemy Rein. Good pin though on him. Solid. No, you can't go. No. Again, like this Bastion says you are not allowed to walk past the choke point unless he's dead. I like the use of teleporter there. That was nice. That was nice. Or fire strike. Bastion's still in there. We're kind of caught behind this cart. Is your Ana alive? Do you know where your Ana is right now? Are you aware? Just curious. Let's take a look at where she is. There she is. Are you aware of where she's playing? Because I don't think that you've looked at your team in a while. Again, right? And so I think it seems to me like you're in this position. You're really low HP, and you're wondering, where's my Ana? Is she playing upper left, upper right, behind cart? Where is she playing? Because where she's playing is kind of like where it kind of helps you understand where you can play. And it's just, I'm seeing this pattern of you're just not looking at your team at all. Pretty crucial information to be missing there. This is risky. With the bubble though. Nice. You had the sim come out with you. You got the kill there. That was excellent. Really good pin. Nice. Outplayed that Reinhardt. Good fire strike. That was a really good play. Nice. That was your team working together. What I liked about that play was you kind of like stabilized all your resources together, right? You put all your resources together and you made a play. And the play actually involved the Symmetra doing something, right? The Symmetra completed the do something challenge and actually did something. Came with you outside the choke, followed up with you. If you go back just a little bit more here. Watching this unfold, right? Your team is like in position to maybe do a thing, right? You have all your team inside of the choke. Their team is trying really hard to push their way into the choke, okay? They're getting pretty far in. The Zarya dies, and suddenly you, even though there's a Bastion there, that's okay because you have bubble, all right? And so as you start walking out, you get that bubble. And finally, the sim is on really high charge, focuses down the Bastion with you. Excellent. Starts putting pressure on the Ana. Now your team is favored because they are playing Brawl the right way. They allowed the team to like overextend. They killed the Zarya, and then they together pushed out, and it was like a nice little brawl there. So that was really nice. Nice. That's the way we want the fights to look. Okay. All right. And so that worked. We need to do that again. All right. Or we need to come up with a new strategy, a new way to figure this out. Playing up here is risky again. All right. Like the further you play up this bridge, the longer the trek back to the safety of this choke. Like this is where your comp is really good. I wouldn't say really good. I'd say viable. All right, up here, your comp is less viable. And against an enemy team that really knows what they're doing, they could really exploit the fact that you're brawling up here. I came out of nowhere. I want to watch that. The enemy Reinhardt's kind of chatty, not gonna lie. Oh, it's right up the back of this. Yes, dude. Damn. Yeah, you gotta hold shield and walk backwards, and I don't think you can shield hop this. You just have to hope that your Ana's gonna keep you up. Oh, you no. Wait, why? Why did you drop your shield? Wait, was it just stun? No. Wait a minute. You pull your shield down while you have 700 shield. The swing? Bruh. No. Your shield is how you get back to safety. You don't want to drop it too early. They've got a Bastion in that really critical spot. Damn. That sucks. Okay, you're watching where your team is right now, and you get to make a choice of like, do you want to come back out on the left side or the right side? In this particular situation, I kind of like the left a little bit better because Ana's on the left, And as you come out, you can shield the Ana from anything that's going to be coming at her, and you'll know that she's right in front, or right behind you as you push forward and take that space. However, if you walk out this side, then she could get pressured out. Maybe she has to walk back into the door, into the spawn room area. And as you go out here, you might not have the Ana behind you. And so I like the left door. I like the left door personally, just based off like what I'm looking at here in the front of the map as I'm kind of coming out of spawn room. You try to take the right door. I don't like that idea. We go for a straight up pin right out of the door. It's risky, but you know, it's calculated risk. We almost got the Lucio there. Would have been kind of cool. Oh, almost. All right. I think here they just got us staggered. It's not great, and so they're gonna get it. Yep, not much your Ana can do. All right. Now we're on the Sigma, and I think the Sigma is a much better choice here. Sigma is going to allow you to put pressure on a further range forward, and not force yourself to be super far forward, especially against these double hit scans that the enemy team has been playing. If you notice a hit scan up on a high ground, you can just put your shield up on it and still pressure while you're holding up your shield. And I think it's going to be a lot more versatile. I think that Sigma is much better on Havana than Reinhardt. So certainly I think a good choice here. Yeah, you can bring that shield all the way up to that soldier. You don't have to like try to block main. You can block the angle. All right, because that soldier is a problem. If your team's not going to do anything about it, then certainly you should do something about it. Go out there. Okay. Just throwing a rock to throw a rock. I would be careful about throwing rocks just to throw rocks. Just because you want to look for opportunities to use the rock to either like stop an ult or do like rock. Okay. When you're in like Plat, all right, one thing that I think a lot of people think about in Plat is, how do I use my abilities to get a bunch of value in defeat the enemy team? Like, how do I use my abilities to get kills? All right, to get kills and to win the game. But a lot of people in this elo, what they're not thinking about is the fact that when you're holding an ult and not using it, it's causing the enemy team to behave a certain way. All right, to do certain things and to not make certain plays because they're waiting for you to use abilities, right? When you throw the rock, Reinhardt feels a lot more comfortable coming at you and swinging at you because he knows you're not going to be able to just throw a rock at him and get that distance and then start pressuring, right? Because that's kind of like how Rein and Sigma contest one another. It's like Rein comes at Sigma, Sigma throws a rock at the Rein, shoots him back a bit, and now he's just kiting while like shooting back at him. Okay, and if you don't have rock, you can't do that, right? And so that's something you want to be thinking about is like when you use an ability, what is it then enabling the enemy team to do versus what value it gave you? So in this instance, let's go back a second. We have a rock, all right? This Rein's not on top of us, and I really like in this moment, if I'm thinking about what I want to use rock for, it's I can rock someone who's isolated, and if they're isolated and they're out of position and our team can get the kill and I can just rock them and we can get the kill, great. All right. But here, you're just in the moment. You just throw a rock. It hits a shield. It almost hit a Cassidy, I guess. But note how now, if I'm this Reinhardt, I'm looking to kill you, right? Especially if you walk any further forward, right? I'm really comfortable walking into you because you don't have a rock. You don't have any way to like push me back. And so the rock, even if that rock hit the Cassidy, was it worth it? Now, this Plat Reinhardt's not going to punish you for it, I suppose. I guess they're not going to do anything about it. Now he's looking to kind of walk in towards you here. You don't have the rock. You put the shield up. You try to kite a little bit. He doesn't want to go too far here. He doesn't want to walk into the Mei because of that, right? So he's waiting kind of for that to happen. Oh, that was close, actually. Yeah, so let me go back for a second. I feel like you just want to play it a further range. God, it's kind of slow or something. What's going on? Okay, so you get this Mei wall here. I don't think you have to walk forward this way into this room when you could have just turned next this way and start pressuring like this. You're just further away. If this wall goes down for some reason and you're standing here, you're just dead, obviously. You just want to play at that sort of like 15-meter range, which is like that effective range of Sigma where he can just be like a nuisance. Pull back your shield here, and then like don't go this direction. Right. Yeah, as soon as the wall wasn't a problem anymore, the Cassidy just kind of walked into you through a flashbang, and you're just too close to Cassidy, too close to like the brawly area of it, right? And so like this area here is where they're going to be brawling you out, and like if you're standing over here in this area and pressuring them, right, it's on them to do something. It's on them to try to apply the same amount of pressure, get the same kind of cooldowns out, and find an opening to actually push you back. And it's kind of hard to do that as the brawl stack. It's really hard for a brawl stack to find an opportunity to push in this way, especially if the brawl stack isn't even like utilizing this high ground or doing much with it, as is the case right now. They were pressured off the high ground. It's like they're not in the position to make any kind of play. They're strictly waiting for you as in your team to do something wrong, and this is a case in which you did so. All right, you're making protect yourself. Okay, let's take a moment to understand sort of the cooldowns we just used. Right, Mei has used block. She has used wall. You have or you see the bubble on the Mei, so you don't have bubble, and it looks like you're pressing W right now, right? And just note that like all these tools that your team has to sort of like manipulate the fight have been used, and looks like, yeah, you got a kill on the Cassidy, but just be careful what's coming at you. Use nano. They're gonna push into you here. You get the shield in front. Throw the rock. Use the bubble again. Pull back the shield. Excellent. I think you might be dead here. Oh, maybe not. No, you're definitely dead. No one's gonna contest the soldier upper right. So how I think I just would have played this differently. Like doing these 5-second go backs. I want to do a little more than that. Okay, go back a second. What I'd like to see more of is just a recognition of just a lot of cooldown uses. You walk around here, immediately you see the ice block. Okay, so you know that's been used. Okay. You see the wall being used. You see the bubble being used. That's a lot of cooldowns all at once. And when you notice this, right, you notice a lot of cooldowns used and not a whole lot of value had. All right. Yeah, okay, we killed the Cassidy. Sure, we killed the Cassidy. We want to still... We don't want to press W too much, right? Because we just used a bunch of shit. I would want to stay about here, maybe like rotate this way slightly, or maybe, I don't know. You could play here, you could play in here, but like play about this range. I wouldn't want to walk up here, right? Because a more competent team is really just going to walk into you with a Reinhardt and kill you. They're not going to care. They're going to position their Ana, honestly, in this position with all those cooldowns used, especially if that's all called out and everything. Like Ana can position way more aggressively. She can go for she can find a nice nade on you. She can make sure the Rein's propped up and able to just swing on to Sigma for nothing. Because there's no bubble to play with. There's no Like May's pretty much no cooldown, so right, this sort of walking forward, it scares me. It gives me kind of like little ideas of what's probably about to happen in the future. Right, there's no reason to be this close to the Reinhardt. There's no reason to be, because you don't want to play in his effective range when you just have a longer effective range. Why? Like, why would you? You can pressure him back with range pressure, and then he has to go to cover, right? He can't just stand here forever as long as your team continues to put pressure on here, right? So your team, closer than they need to be, they apply all the pressure they're applying now. Maybe sans the May, if they're just back a little bit further, like right here, and you can still pressure this Reinhardt. Now, at least you're not right on top of him, but as like time goes by, you know, he's not really like advancing on you, and you're kind of advancing on him. So you're kind of doing his job for you. You know, his job is to find himself right next to you with as few resources as possible, and you're just walking into him. Okay, right there, he didn't necessarily hit you with that swing, but if he rotated a little bit, he actually could have slapped you with that. So you are within the melee range there. And now we're honestly just looking for a May wall. A May wall here was just like, you're really great. Not that May wall. Right. I just play a little bit further back. A little further back, maybe you don't get hit by the shatter. Maybe if you don't get hit by the shatter, you could eat that grav. Maybe you could throw a shield up at the soldier in time. You would have saw it coming more. A lot of maybes, I suppose. We're on the D.Va now. I kind of don't mind that. D.Va's fine here. Good pressuring this soldier out. What's going on over here? Good lift. Make sure this guy dies. Oh. Okay, so your D.Va goes in really deep, and they kind of just turn on the D.Va and kill her. Without your off tank, there's not a whole lot of space you can take here, by the way. There's no off tank's going to help you push forward in this situation. Now, they don't have an off tank either, so what you do here in this case is you want to pressure the Reinhardt with enough damage that he has to give up position, or start pressuring his backline. Like, in this case, if you can, like, get an angle here, if you can, like, shoot Ana through here, then she has to, like, nade herself. You know, she has to nade herself, maybe walk back, take cover here, can't heal her Reinhardt for a second. Reinhardt suddenly goes a moment without getting heals and starts thinking, okay, where's my Ana? Shit, I need to take cover myself, right? And so just start, I don't know, think about what you can do there. You kind of shoot the Ana, but she's too far away. Use a blizzard here. Okay. Nice block. Yeah. I'm a big fan of the rock. So, like, you're walking into this Reinhardt and you don't really have to be. Remember, like, Sigma is this ranged hero, and you just don't have to brawl the Reinhardt. Your team needs to put pressure on the Ana so the Ana isn't looking at him, and then pressure him out. Like, force him to use shield and walk away. Walking into him is nah. Right here, like, you let him get on top of you. You did his job for him, and then you threw a rock at him, but then he was still on you. You didn't actually knock him back, because it's almost like you wanted to be within his range. Okay, Reinhardt. That's kind of feeding. You should kill him for that. Nice. You killed the Kree here. Yep. Now that their Rein's dead, they're all on the back foot. Excellent. Okay, so you're just I see here that you're just kind of like in this moment, your hands up is to say, I'm not walking any further. I'm just not letting you walk forward. Fine. Yes, you're just holding hands up in front of a Zarya beam. Whatever. going up here and then throwing some stuff up here. I don't know if I like pulling back. Like, I'm not sure what you're exactly doing here. I didn't mind holding over here, right? And so you said, I'm not letting you walk past this door. Also, you can go back the door. You can go through the door. Now I'm going to walk this way. So I don't like that, right? It doesn't make sense. I would have stuck here and continued to apply pressure. You've got the Ana supporting you from back there. You don't have to be on the door, by the way, but you don't have to walk this way and not even look at the door anymore. Like, I would love to see, like, maybe standing right here-ish, or like over here, and just so you can like rebound shot and make sure that they're not going to be able to just walk out this door for free. Or if they do, you can start walking backwards and getting away from it. Here it's just kind of a question mark whether they're going to go either way. You find yourself back in the same position, sort of the same position, but like you might not have known that the soldier was coming out that door in that moment. Would have been a little bit more clear. And then he goes for the attack visor from behind. You D.Va deals with it, but then you're going to die to Zarya. Maybe not. Nice kill. Good rock. I like that one. That sucks, though. Okay. A little chaotic there. A little bit of a weird fight. This is fine. Pressuring your advantage here. You have these kills. Yeah, you don't want to die, though. Yeah, don't want to die, though. I think... Are you forgetting your shield? Hold on. Yeah, you pull back your shield here. You don't remember to pull back your shield, and that kills you. Because once you need your shield, you didn't have it. That's fine. So ideally there you don't die. You get the kill on the Zarya. Excuse me, I'm sorry. And then you're not giving them a bunch of space back. You're just trying to consolidate and stabilize your position by rotating up to high ground, right? They'll go try to get their high ground, you get your high ground, but yours is going to be better because you'll control more of the space. I like this ult. Okay, you didn't quite get the damage you needed on those squishies to get the kills, though. Ooh, nice kill on Lucio. Pressure from a distance. This is good. Good to see. Your team did pretty good on that one. That was nice. Nice to see. The team kind of working together here. Nice to see you playing from a distance. It's good. You're just pressuring from about 15 meters. You don't have to be right on that choke point. I like to see that. It's good. When you're retreating path here, you don't have to go to point. Okay. When you're retreating here, you stay here. You can stay in this doorway. Keep pressuring them, right? Because they would love to just stabilize this room and then like push Rein off point and have their Ana stay up here as they just kind of like rush point and stabilize. But it's hard for them to do any of that. They can't push Rein off the top and go to the low ground and contest cart until this Sig's gone, because if they do that, then the Sig just puts up a shield and kills the Ana, right? They can't leave a backline in here. So if you're sitting here pressuring them, the only move they can make is actually to rush you. And so you kite backwards and bait them way back over here. And now they're playing in a position they don't actually want to be in. You see that? And so I don't like that you're going to cart here. Now, you've kind of given them what they wanted. See? Now you're not up there. Yeah, Lucio's kind of doing some shit. Yeah, Lucio kind of booped him off a bit. But at least they've got their backline up. Or Ana just jumps off. That's fascinating. Okay. Okay. There's some shenanigans happening in this fight. Theoretically, my opinion still stands. I think that would have been played better if you were just to hang out up here and bait them backwards. Bait them backwards, bait them into a fight right here. And I think that it would have been a better play. All right. I like it. Take up this high ground. Just stay up here. You didn't actually have to drop off of that. You could play high ground. No, you don't have. No, dude, you don't have to play Reinhardt's range. Definitely try to kill this Zarya. 100% kill Zarya. Okay. You don't have to walk up to him. That's just giving him free ult charge if he decided to actually slap you. Do not ult. Good, I'm glad you didn't ult there. I see. Good. Giving the space here a little bit because you want to play within your range, which means you kind of just play this corner. Don't let them walk up too far, and they don't even want to, right? Because they're playing brawl. What they really want to do is they want to just kind of play around these angles. They hope you walk forward. You don't want to go too far here. Definitely just play here, play for your advantage. You've got your Sig ult, so when you're ready to go in, you actually can beat their brawl. Their brawl is worth fucking dog shit when you've got Sig ult, right? Because if they really want to stick together and rush you, well, you just lift them up and drop them down and get a bunch of fucking damage. Win the fight. That wall is so bad. What the fuck? You baited them forward. This is a great opportunity for your ult. Huge. Like, they're... Oh my god. I would slam this ult. It's such a... Oh, I would ult the fuck out of this. What is... Okay. Now the soldier up there, you're gonna want to be like, you want to shield that soldier in that position up there. Oh, you broke the ult. That's good. We used a few other ults, so it looks like okay. It looks like we're winning the fight. We got to kill the Zarya, kill the Lucio. Don't look nice. Good body block. Nice. Good punching. You can still block that window up there. You don't have to just let it slide. We're back on the Bastion. Play that high ground up there. The Rein's on top of you now. Not what you want to see. Big beat, but they're also a beat. Try to be a little more decisive with your Sig ult there. I think that when you look for those opportunities, I'm gonna go back 5 seconds and just watch like the reluctance to just use it immediately. Like you see the beat come down, you see where they are. I think that you really need to be putting yourself in a position to just like see where it is, press Q, and immediately just lift the position that you know you're gonna lift, right? This whole like press Q, look around, find something. You're giving them an opportunity to spread apart, and you don't want to do that. Now, it turned out to be a fine lift. You got 3. That's fine. Kill this. Make sure this fucking Bastion dies. You have the rock. You definitely rock the Bastion. No. You rock him sooner than that. I think you had the rock as you're dropping down. Yeah. So, you 100%, you drop the rock here. You rock him as you're falling. It's an easy shot. It's so easy to rock people while you're dropping on top of them. Yeah. And so here, 100%, you rock him, and then he gets knocked out of his form. He doesn't get to be in this form anymore. He gets out of his form, and then you double hypersphere him. Yeah, you would have killed him. I'm pretty sure you would have killed him there. All right. Good try. That was a close game. Yeah, so I think that the biggest thing I would work on is probably looking at your team a little bit more often, trying to understand the spaces you really should be playing in. And if you do both of those things, I think that you got some climbing you could potentially be doing here. What else could you work on? I mentioned the thing about like the consequences of using an ability. Don't think about just the value you get from using it. Think about what value you have been getting by not using it and sandbagging it. And when you use it, is it worth it? What are they going to do differently now that you've used your ability, now that you used your cooldown? And it is like the easiest way to think of it is like Roadhog situation with Hook, right? Like Hook is such a threat, a huge threat, right? And while he's holding on to it and walking around and peeking little angle, like the enemy team is constantly like, oh shit, he's over there. Oh shit, he's about to hook me. Oh shit, he's about to hook me. But then as soon as you throw the hook and like maybe you miss the hook or some shit, then what? Right? Then they're like, oh, he used hook. Let's just go kill him. Right? That's the consequences of using the hook is it enables the enemy team to make a play. If you just use your ability, if the most your ability does is enables the enemy team to time their play, you're beating yourself. You're beating yourself for the enemy team. You're doing their job for them. That's pretty much where I'm going to leave it. I hope that was helpful, and have a good day.